All right, you guys. So a few days ago, I was on Twitter and I saw somebody had retweeted some animation, and it really caught my eye. So I looked into who the animator was, and uh, yeah, I found his art, and we talked a little, and I asked him to come on and talk about. Seems like the subjects that he's interested in, from what I gathered, are animation and art, NFTs, which I think I don't know a lot about, so I'd like to learn a little more about, and startups and psychedelics. Would those be a good? Oh, and his name is Claudio Bell, so welcome, Claudio.
Hello, nice to meet you. And yeah, the topics are very mixed up and maybe strange, but everything is connected, and we'll try to make a link and to discover these words that are very beautiful. But startup, psychedelics, and NFT world are I don't know, something that I would say it's really projected in the future. So I really like to follow this vision and these trends and see what's happening in the world. This is, I don't know, like a new cultural revolution for me. So I'm really happy and excited to be part of it. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, I want to talk about all those things. Maybe we can begin with kind of your animation and art background. How long have you been doing animation?
Yeah, I'm doing animation just since 1 year, maybe less than 1 year. And I started with game developing because I was building a startup about music, and we needed a video game. It was like a video game on music, and I don't know, there was nobody around to make the video game, and so I said, okay, I will start. We start doing something, and at first I started with very simple video games. Then I found Unity. That's a really, I don't know, is a really full stack software that makes you do anything you have in mind. And I was completely, I don't know, astonished by this because in some months, looking in tutorials on YouTube, I've been able to make my characters move and then find some cool effects for them. And so I started to make recordings of these gameplays of my personal video game. And then I thought maybe I can make some videos from this and tell some stories because I always like to tell stories with music, with poetry, with everything. I don't know. I think it's art, and this was just a powerful tool. And I thought, okay, I have to use this to say something meaningful. And I don't know, everything come in the same direction. I didn't know about NFT. In fact, I knew about NFTs since 2016, but I never understood their power since I become an animator. And then when they told me now you can sell your videos in a very wide market, I don't know, seemed to me like the most beautiful thing in the life. So I focused on animation, and this month, I don't know, I passed like 12 hours a day. I don't know, making stories and trying to put them on screen. And so I don't know. That's how I started doing startups. So as I said, is everything is connected, and and I'm really glad to be part of this world now and to have people like you also that see my art and can be impressed or can be just inspired by that. It's something really powerful. I like it.
Nice. Well, I don't know much about animation, which is why I wanted to speak with you, because like I was under the impression that you'd have to study animation for years and years, but uh, did you find like when you got into animation, was it easier to get started than you thought? Like would you, and how would you recommend that people do get started? Is Unity the way to, would you recommend Unity as starting
Yeah,
animation?
I find that animation, like all the arts, can seem really hard at the beginning. You have like I don't know. There is a very famous quote that says that there is a gap between you and what you think that's beautiful. So when you start doing something, you do that because you want to do something beautiful. But when you start, it's not beautiful at first time. So many gives up because they don't like what they do. But you have to be patient and pass that period. And go straight in your way, and then you can have some results. Like I also sing, and I was really I don't know, out of tune. How to say that? Since I was 20 years old, I never sing before, and every time I tried, I was like, "Ah." And then I thought, okay, but I can learn this. It's not something out of this world. It's something that people does, and I can do that. So I took lessons. And this is for everything, I think. So if you really want to do something, you just dig in it, and you can do that. So for animation, I think it's a really complicated art to perform. I don't know what to say, but it's something so fascinating that you completely go into that world that you are creating. So if you really love what you're doing, our path and you're learning, but it's not hard. It's in fact the most easy thing to do. So it's about passion, I think. Uh, I think I've been able to make some pretty looking animations in a few time because I really love that, and I did with love. So
Well,
things made with
how
love
long
are
does it
different.
usually take for, let's say like just like a 15-second or so animation? How long would you typically work on something like that?
Yeah, it depends by the animation. There are some things that went up just at the first try, and things that takes you weeks of tryings, and you want to break your PC in two parts. But I don't know if I have to say an average time, it could be like 2 weeks to make a 30-second video. So
Wow.
1 week to make a 15-second video, but it depends from many things. And I don't know. It's cool because the more you go, the more you go farther in this, and the more the times get stretched, but you want to do bigger things. So it's I don't know. It depends. I could take also a month to make a video, but for now, I feel like when I start, I stay there in the PC like for really a lot of time because I'm saying like a week, but a week for me it means like that I wake up and I'm thinking, oh, I have to change that setting to make that light a little bit better, and depends how much are you focused on that I think, and what you're doing.
Huh. Well, let's talk a little about NFTs now. So
Yeah.
NFTs, in it stands for non-fungible token, right? And so
Correct.
what I think that that doesn't help a lot of people because fungible is not a very common word in English.
No.
So how would you explain what is an NFT?
An NFT. No, you made me laugh because in I am Italian, but in fact I'm from Sardinia, and in Sardinia we have an our language that's Sardinian. In fact, it's completely different from Italian and similar to Spanish. And in our language, that's a really that's spoken by a few people because we are like a million people.
Hmm.
In our language, fungible has a lot of sense, but in Italian, in every other language, it's like an uncommon word. So it makes me laugh because for us, fungible, okay, it's a completely
Do you say
because
fungible or do you say like fungible or how do you pronounce it?
we say we say there is a verb that's called fungere. Fungere means that something can be useful for can be used instead of another thing. So the non-fungible tokens are tokens that cannot be changed with other tokens because they are unique tokens, no? And that's why not fungible, not changeable, like not convertible again and not sparable again, because like the not fungible token of my video is my full video, cannot be spared like in a half a video for somebody and half a video for somebody else. It's not like something that you can sorry, I don't know this word. Maybe divide like, but a liquid, like yeah, you cannot spare it. And so that's and also the fact is that not fungible tokens are based on blockchain, and this make them theoretically theoretically free from hacking, because their data is stored in many servers around the world, and it's validated every time from many servers. So you will have to hack like more than the 50% of the server in the world that has like this blockchain on them, and that's impossible in some way. And so this gives value to the things that you are putting in your NFT, because your NFT is going to stay. Is going to be here even in 10 years, because nobody can destroy it, you know. But in fact, there are many considerations on this, because NFTs store just the transactions, no? But most of NFT art is not stored on blockchain properly. It's stored on another server that's called IPFS. That's a little bit different. So I don't know. I think that this technology it's around from some years, but has just started, and I'm inside since some months, and I'm trying to figure it out how it works already. I don't know. You know, there are many things to know about blockchain. It's a really big word, and I don't know. I'm focusing on art. What I understood is that from an artist's point of view, this can be just an occasion to have some visibility, to sell some artworks, and so I thought, okay, I don't really know what will be the future of blockchain and NFT. I'm very positive about, but from an artist point of view, I totally got to get in. So I don't know. I beg your pardon if I misspell something, but as I said, I'm not a native speaker, so sometimes I use little misspelled words. I don't know
No
to
problem. I'm just still not clear though, totally. Like when you hear about these NFTs, like people paying sometimes millions of dollars for something, what are you actually buying though? Because you know, any digital thing on the internet can be copied. Like that's the point of being digital, is that it can be copied very easily. And so when you're buying an NFT, what are you actually getting? Like you're getting like a kind of like a certificate saying that this is the original, but like what does that mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
that's important. I didn't say before, but we're gonna start with the startups topic a little bit, because beside the animation that I was doing since September, I started a startup about fine arts called Visual Scout. And this startup, it's meant to bring painters, Italian painters for now, into the digital market of art. So I studied also the art market beyond the NFTs, and it's always the same, because also in the art market, everybody can have a print of the Mona Lisa, or have something like really similar to an original artwork, but to have an artwork is an investment. In fact, the art market is a speculative market. I don't know if this is the right word in
yeah,
English,
same
but
word in English, yeah,
yeah,
speculative.
it's about speculation. So you buy that artwork because you see that the vision of the artist is going to go farther, and you want to follow that trend, and you want to buy that artwork because if we bought like Beeple 1 year ago, we could have sold it to millions this year. No, so it's an investment. I think art market is driven by this kind of investment. That's speculation, in fact. But I don't know. I think it's good as long as provides some value for artists and feeds this beautiful community. Even if it's speculation.
Yeah, I mean, I understand kind of what you're saying, the analogy with real paintings like the Mona Lisa and prints of the Mona Lisa. But on the other hand, like, the original Mona Lisa, it has paint and it's on a canvas, and
Yeah.
and there's actual texture and it'll degrade. But I don't know, just with digital goods, I just don't know. It just feels very strange to me that say like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying like, especially the concern, the big concern that I've read about with anything that's on a blockchain is that it uses a lot of computer processing, so it's using a lot of carbon. It's creating a lot of carbon, just to
Yeah.
to maintain Bitcoin. Supposedly uses as much carbon as like the entire all of Ireland in 1 year. It's so like,
Yeah, no, there are many considerations about this. Like for what regards carbon, I think the main theme is that we should have green energies, and if we have green energies, we can do anything because everything is making a lot of carbon. We are killing this planet. Everybody knows, and everybody is, I don't know, stressed about this thing. But I don't think NFTs are doing more than other human activities. In fact, also Bitcoin is one of the most carbon impact coins, but the most of NFT circuit is on Ethereum, Tezos. Like Tezos is really green, and it's a really green coin. And so I think this is just not a limit of NFTs itself, but of our way to get energy. That we should change that at the base. So for this reason, I I think that I don't know. I'm really aware that, and I don't know. I'm concerned about this problem of environment, but I think that NFTs are not the cause, not the solution of this topic. And for what regards the fact of Mona Lisa and digital art, yeah, you're right. But our life has translated a bit in the digital world. So if first your person was your physical person, and you had your house to show your artworks, like a painting. Now your person is living also in digital realities, and in the digital realities we have places, we have websites, we have profiles, and we have like I don't know, a social life. So this is going to be, I think, more and more involving, and I don't know, people want beautiful things to this life too, to this digital life too, because if you have like a Beeple NFT and you show it in your profile, it gives you like I don't know, some kind of status symbol. Status symbol is not like a really good word for me, but I don't know, you understand what I'm saying. Like before
yeah.
people had the Rolex, now people has a cyberpunk as a profile pic, and it's the same thing, like it's branding somehow.
Yeah, and I can understand too, because artists, musicians, any creators that do put their work out digitally, because it can be copied so easily and like taken without paying the artist. I understand that there are it's the figuring out ways to compensate artists is important if we want to allow them to keep making art. So I'm not saying I'm against it or for it. I'm just I think about like these Bitcoin and all these other coins and things like that, anything that's on the blockchain, and like sometimes they seem good in some ways, but like I said, that we haven't totally figured out all the problems like that they can create too. So I'm curious to see what happens with
Right.
NFTs. But how did you get started? Like when the first time you used an NFT, how did you begin? Like, is there a website that is mainly?
Yeah.
Is there a big community?
Yeah. By the way, I understood that you wasn't I don't know against NFTs. In fact, you did this interview because I think you're really interested in this topic because it's mysterious somehow. We say, what's happening in the world? Are we
Right.
really
Yeah.
going to do it? Yeah. No. So I totally understand your point of view, and I'm trying to defend somehow this community and this word because at first I was really skeptic too. I didn't understand why people should do that, but then when you go in and you see that it's a beautiful world, and so you say, okay, people want to live in this beautiful world, and if you want to live in this beautiful world, you gotta be part. You gotta be no, you gotta be part of that economy too. And so I started. In April when there was the boom, and I was already thinking about this because of my startup of fine arts, but I was waiting, and then people went out with that awesome sellings. And I thought, okay, I can't be out of this because we are working on art market, and this is art market, so let's go. And I started with some tutorials on YouTube, like I think in 2021. If you want to do something, you probably find a tutorial on YouTube that explains it. And so I started with a tutorial that explained me how to set a wallet, because you have to have a crypto wallet, because every time you put an artwork on the blockchain, you make a transaction to register that NFT, no? And so almost every time it has to be paid. In some platforms it can cost like a fraction of a cent of dollar. In other platforms it can cost like hundreds of dollars. So it depends from the market and from the time, because that's a price that you pay for mining your piece of blockchain, for minting in fact it. And so I started with OpenSea. That's the biggest platform and one of the most inclusive. And I just set the wallet and went inside the site. And it's really simple to start because you have just to upload your artwork like you do, I don't know, in YouTube. And then with your wallet, you pay a little tax. That's what you have to pay to the developer to register you in the blockchain, and nothing. And then you have an NFT and you can set a price. But I think it's just not about to put an NFT in a platform, because I don't know. There can be crazy people, but almost everything you are not going to invest in somebody that just put an artwork in a blockchain, because it's not about that. You are going to watch if he her has a career, if he's going somewhere, and if maybe the next year his value is going to raise about 5 times, 10 times, 100 times. No, it's an investment. People buy art because they believe their eyes have spotted something that people doesn't have spotted yet, and so they say, okay, I'm going to invest in this art to let it grow, to make it grow. No.
So is it kind of like the way that you're describing it sounds almost like every person sort of becomes like they're making their own like money, like just like kind of with like Bitcoin, except this time rather than just a coin with no value, no connection to any now you're kind of connecting it with a specific individual, saying like this person is kind of creating, like I believe in this person as a currency. So
Yeah.
like I could understand that because like all these other coins, like Dogecoin or whatever, it's the image of the dog. That's what you're paying for.
Yeah,
What is that? It's just whatever confidence people have in it, like with any money, but it's like a personally generated currency kind of where instead of like just a coin, you have an actual artwork as the currency itself. Um, that's what I'm
yeah,
getting from
you
what you're
totally
saying.
get the point. You totally get the point.
Yeah.
Yes. Is
Huh.
that the point? And people, in fact, but also in the art market, without NFTs, people invest in the artist. Some people just buy the artwork because they like it, and that's the Kickstarter of everything. No, you are no one, but there's someone that spots you, says, "Wow, it's beautiful," and you start. But then is really a business thing. I don't know. I don't want to say a bad thing of art, because art is very more than business to me. But it needs also business to be kept alive. I don't know,
Hmm.
because if you don't have money, you have to go work. You can't make other videos. So you can buy other stuff, and
Yeah.
so
Well,
it's important.
let's talk about your startup activity. So, like, when did you get started with startups? How long have you been active with them?
Yeah, I started with startups. I don't know. I can say in 2017. 2070 is not yet come. Sorry. And yes, because I patented. I'm a dentist, as I told you, and I patented a new kind of device, an orthodontic device here in Italy, and we won some awards for this because it was really a powerful invention, and we developed that with some funds, and now we are going through the clinical tests. So we went to like. We were not already in the market, but with medical devices, it's a really long journey. But we're going well, and also this gave me more than a startup. Gave me like a way of thinking about problems and about solutions. I don't know, because I made some programs of university for startup creations So they teach me to watch the reality, trying to figure out how to change it in a better way. No, so I started with startup with this medical startup, and then this year I started this startup about arts, and I don't know. It's really something frightening, because you are putting all yourself in a vision, in a trust of your idea of future. You are not going working every day like and earning money um, from your work. You're investing maybe for years, so it took a lot of patience of patience to go forward, and it's a really hard way, but I think it's something we born. You know, there's people that as no is not that hungry and feels okay. I don't know, just enjoying life, and people that somehow has this hunger and mm, this desire of change the world, of getting something new. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think
So
it's definitely connected with you being an artist too. I think every artist
yeah,
wants to have that.
creating,
Doesn't
creating
want to. They don't want to
creativity.
leave things the same. Yeah.
Yeah, in
Oh,
fact, as we said at the beginning, it's all connected. Like even if it's all separated, because doing a medical startup, I separate psychedelic world and the medical one. But in fact, is everything connected? Because I think without psychedelic experience, I wouldn't have thought about medicine in a different way. And if I never did art, I would never try to create something new. No, so everything is connected. That's really beautiful to me.
you said with psychedelics. I don't know in Italy how is the psychedelic scene? Are like are there a good amount of people? Like, are they pretty? Do people talk about them? Like when I lived in other parts of the U.S., like there are places where people just talk about them openly. It's like no big deal because like marijuana is legal here, and a lot of psychedelics are starting to become legal in certain places. So, like in
Yeah,
Italy, what's the situation in Europe in general? How do you feel?
Italy. In Italy is I don't know what to say. It's not. I don't like the situation in Italy about psychedelics because the common sense is that they are drugs,
Right.
and they can hurt your brain really bad. But I don't know. I studied neuroscience because I'm a dentist. I studied neurology. I studied psychiatry, psychology, and everything. And I focused also on medical research on PubMed. I don't know, that's the main site where scientific articles are published. And I watch a lot of studies, and I know that psychedelics are a very different thing from example cocaine. And they can be really helpful for people that has um, mental diseases. And I don't know, in our society almost everyone has a mental disease, some kind of mental disease, so they can be helpful for me, like almost to everybody. And I don't know, I think that's something really connected with our nature, because our thoughts are chemical. We have some kinds of psychedelics also in our body. Some molecules make us dream, make us have hallucinations. So also, if we don't do drugs, so I think it's a really important thing for humanity. And here in Italy, people fortunately it's ignorant about this word, because we've been bombed for a lot of years. That's drug, that's bad. And I don't know, but I always try to fight for this. As I told you that I separate startup, medical startup world and psychedelics, because it's really hard to explain an investor, okay, I make a medical device, but I'm also I don't like it. But in fact, I don't know, also in the university I always try to say, like to the professors, hey, look, psychedelics can be a medicine, can be something, even if it was against my, I don't know, against my business, no? And so I really think that psychedelics are important. And the cool thing is that the 3D graphics and animation seem the perfect tool to show psychedelic world. I don't know. I think psychedelic art needed the graphics, 3D graphics, and it's again everything linked. So that's what I think about.
Nice. Yeah, I think art is certainly a good platform for rather than saying this psilocybin or LSD or whatever is amazing and wonderful. You can do your best to pull it back and show it in art. And obviously, it's not going to be an identical experience, but it's kind of a gateway to use it. I don't know if
Yeah, yeah.
that you have that expression in Italian, but we say like a gateway drug to another experience. So maybe art can be that way. Um, yeah, it's interesting because I think I tend to think of Europe as being more progressive in a lot of ways than the United States, but I don't know. Like, there's definitely
It
a lot of
depends.
there's many cultures. Um,
Yeah, it's difficult to make a chart to say who's more progressive, because people are very different from country to country. I don't know. I really like. I've met in my life some American people, and they can be like the representation of everybody, but some traits I can tell them, no. And I think maybe the difference between the old world and new world is that we have different points of view. Like we are more we are more rooted on reality. We feel like our story really important, our tradition. gives us some kind of knowledge, no, of knowledge of the past, and we feel like really comfortable about this. But at the same time, this tradition doesn't allow us to be as creative as you Americans. That's my really, I don't know, uh, general vision. Like in America, I think I feel like there are less traditions because it's a new country and somehow, and people is more free think, but at the same time, it's easier to get lost, like in a cultural way. I don't know how to say it.
Well,
Uh,
it's I think it's similar to Europe. We have, the further east you are, it tends to be more, I feel like there's more traditions, whereas the further west you get, like California or Hawaii, it just feels like
uh,
things are just like very fluid and can be changed
yeah, yeah,
like very quickly. So, it's a big country, just like Europe's a big continent.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. In fact, I can be so general, but I don't know. I always felt this distraction from USA of progression, progressive, and we are a little bit more rooted, I thought. But everything is beautiful to when it's mixed together, because I don't know, we can have a different point of views on topics, and it's something that makes us more rich in a cultural way, no?
Nice. Well, I haven't been to Europe in several years, and I've never been to Italy. But next time I go to Europe, Italy, Germany, Greece are like the three big countries that I need to visit because I've never been to, and I would like to.
Yeah, I will be glad to meet you.
You're in Sardinia, you said.
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah,
Sardinia. Have you ever seen something about Sardinia?
yeah. Like it's always interested me because I've studied a little Italian, but not enough to speak fluently. But I know you were saying Sardinian's a different, a different dialectic path.
Yeah,
So it is different. But no, the weather looks amazing. I like ocean weather. Like I feel like I've always wanted to visit Sardinia. So yeah, next time I go to
yeah.
Europe.
Sardinia, it's a natural treasure. It's full of beaches. I don't know if I say it right. Like full of seasides to landscapes. I know it's a very beautiful land. I love it. Sometimes to live in an island can make you, I don't know, a little bit more closed, because every time you want to go out, you gotta take a plane, and it's not that easy. But I don't know. I think if we wanna really get in touch with the world, we can do it from anywhere, especially now in to that 2021, when we are always connected, like me and you now.
Yeah, yeah. Before I don't know. I did want to cover one other thing about back to startups. How do you feel the situation is with startups in 2021 now compared to 2017? Like, do you feel would you recommend it now, or do you feel like since COVID, the situation has gotten more difficult for startups, or is it easier? I don't know. What do you feel right now with startups?
I don't know. This is a really difficult question. I don't know if it got easier or harder. I think startups are always a really big bet, because 90% of startups are not going to go to the market, and so it depends really from the vision of the founders that knows that that thing is gonna be useful, is gonna be used. So it's difficult to say. For what regards the general environment of startups, I think that this digital transaction made by COVID, because COVID announced this digital transaction that we were doing. No, we are more connected by Zoom. Also, like schools are making lessons from home and everything. So I think being the technology, the common factor of startups, maybe them can be, I don't know, helped by this digital work that's creating now. No,
Yeah,
but I don't really know, because it depends. There are many kinds of startups. Like I'm on healthcare startups, but web startups, for example, I think probably they had a boost from this coronavirus thing. Like we just we are talking through Zoom. Zoom started to gain a lot of success just last year with the pandemic. So I don't know. I don't know. I think that the good thing of these pandemics, if there can be a good thing, but talking about startups, no, and talking about society, is that before this moment, there was, I think, a movement of centralization. Everybody was going to big cities to to have more opportunities and everything. And now with this digital world, and that you can stay in the center without being compressed in a big city, because everybody's connected, and this is good because many places, many beautiful places where I don't know to say, going out of population, no, were dispopulating, and and I don't know. In fact, I think it's better to be more diluted in the in the earth, and everybody has and have everybody space. No, I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if I explained this, but I think
No.
there is a trend of decentralization thanks to these bad pandemics. But
Yeah.
this is a good trait, I think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens as the virus, it seems to be in decline, but yeah, like are people going to go back to their old ways, or is it going to stay more like this? Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
it
really curious
it
too.
it has been a huge shift in the economy, definitely. So that'll change the nature of what startups succeed and fail. So I'm curious to see what happens. All right, nice. Well,
Yeah, really curious too. I think that besides coronavirus, when it will finish, this pandemic will finish, and I hope really soon. Besides this, the really disruptive changing it's made by the technology revolution that's been announced by coronavirus. So maybe, of course, we'll get rid of coronavirus, but I don't think we'll get rid about this way of living. Like also for schools, they found that this kind of work, it's really powerful. It's really a tool that we should use more. So I think we are not going back like before. We're going to change in some way. I don't know how, but society, I think, is changed forever somehow. I
oh,
think I wish in a good way, but I don't know if we will go back again to what we were doing.
yeah. Well, I think we talked about earlier, the artist and the startup are both very responsive to what is going on in society, and kind of like a feedback loop. So yeah, I look forward to your future stuff. Thank you so much though for coming on to talk about all this. It's very fascinating stuff, and I still feel like I barely. Uh, I'm very curious about NFTs to see what goes on with them and all these current cryptocurrencies and all these things, the different and other ways in the future that we'll come up with to use blockchains. Um,
Yeah,
it's-
we will see. There is infinite uses. I saw also like people selling houses with NFT. So
hmm.
I don't know. Everything is possible, I think now.
Well, I've seen also like contracts that are used with blockchains, like somehow
Yeah,
verified. Like I think maybe similar to what you're talking about with houses, like
that can be really useful for states too, like for administration of countries, cities, and everything. If you have everything I don't know if you remind that some years ago, some main cities of United States that have been hacked.
yeah,
Their
yeah.
sites have been hacked, and they asked for money, and if they had blockchain, that wouldn't happen. So I think it's a really powerful tool, and we should learn how to use it well. Anyway, thank you. It's been really a pleasure. I hope my Italian macaroni English made me explain anyway.
Yeah, I
Really,
understood.
thank
So
you.
I think anyone else can understand, and I'll link down below to any links you want to provide for your Instagram, your Twitter, if you have a website or portfolios. I'll link to all that down below so people can check out your stuff, man. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Thanks a lot, Claudio.
Thanks a lot to you, and we see you around.